Gemini, this is your 2020 forecast reading. If you would like a personal or a private reading or that genuinely amazing soulmate reading, please contact me via my website. You will see the link is in the description box below. Right, so what I've done for 2020 for you, as for the other star signs, is I make a cup of tea, I drain off the fluid, and while I'm draining off the liquid, I kind of think about Gemini and I ask the question, what's in store for them for 2020? Then we have a look at the symbols that are left behind in the teacup. They tell a story. Now what I normally do is I will look at what really jumps out as I'm searching through the teacup and then the symbols around it to see the entire story. The first thing I notice is a rabbit, a rather large rabbit, and it is patting a kitten or a cat. Now, a rabbit in the traditional tea leaves means one's too attached to the physical side of relationships, okay? The physicality in relationships. But the rabbit in symbology can mean that we need to banish our fears and listen to our heart. There's a cat as well, sort of rubbing up against the rabbit. And the cat in tea leaf cards normally means somebody who is a bit two-faced, who's saying one thing and doing another. But cats can also sometimes be kind of the connection between us and other realms. So there's a bigger story going on here. If I look at the symbols around this, I see a bow, I see a very convoluted wishbone, and I see a tiny little horseshoe. And grapes as well. So the story here seems to be about, and the rabbit is the biggest thing here, I think is more about something that is fear-based, that has been driving you. Something that you've been doing and pursuing, but it's fear-based. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't pursue it, or that it isn't a good goal, but perhaps the way you were going about it was a bit fear-based. And you're possibly worried that people were saying yes to you or going along with you, but not really on your side. That's kind of a feeling that I'm getting here. So your wish was being granted, but you weren't feeling good about it. Something was off. But ultimately, there's a tiny little horseshoe next to it, which says to me, in the end, luck is on your side with this. And this is quite interesting. I want to see what else is around here, which might continue the story for us, because then there's a big clump of tea leaves with quite an indistinguishable, it's kind of muddled. This feeling I'm getting, it's a bit muddled. It's as if it's a situation which is murky and unclear to you. So perhaps that's now how 2020 starts out for you. But then, after that, things get a bit clearer. Then I see a rose, which is a sign of romance. I see the letter T and the letter J, and a victory sign, a very big victory sign. So for some of you, where romance is concerned, you're going to be victorious in that department. The letters T and J play a part here. Then once again, there's quite a clump of tea leaves. Right in the middle there, I see a giraffe looking up over all of it. So maybe ultimately what you get is, you get to elevate yourself above this muddledness, above these muddled thoughts, above these muddled feelings, and get a clearer picture by seeing sort of the bigger picture, or above it. I feel you rise above it and see a clearer picture. Then I see a little cross, which is a burden that you were bearing. I see a little victory. I see a pin. I see a bird flying. So ultimately what happens here is, with all this muddledness, with all these confused feelings, with all this not being sure, you kind of get an elevated view. You kind of rise above it and you get to see more clearly. You know, it's like being in the middle of the mist and the clouds, so you can't see the scenery. But once you get above the clouds, then you can see more clearly. You can see, there's mountains, there's the ocean. So you're going to get that. But metaphorically, I'm speaking metaphorically, but you're going to get that kind of feeling. Then what happens is that burden that you've been carrying, you have a victory in that department. You get a new job or career, and news comes in that brings this for you. So for those of you that applies, I get 5 5s. I say that a change is coming. There's definitely a change coming there. Okay, so that's some of your story. Some story applies to some of you in 2020. I see a vulture. You guys have been worrying. Something has been worrying you. You might have been even a little depressed. I see a little heart below that and a little V below that. So the worrying and the depression could have been over heart-related matters. I see an improvement there. I see a victory in that area. There's an angel. You will be a big angel below it. You will be given guidance. Somebody is watching over you. Someone in another realm is watching over you and will help you in this department. They will guide you in that department. I see a bridge. So you will overcome problems. I see a flag. So don't settle for less. Keep striving for whatever it is. Just don't let the striving be fear-based. And then I see an arrow in a kind of an S shape. I see a heart again. For a lot of you, these are heart-based stories. These are heart-related stories. This is to do with how you feel. And I see a massive open arrow next to that. There will be an improvement in that this year. You will be on the trajectory to something better where heart-related matters are concerned. I get the feeling this is not just romance, but it is included in it. It's relationships in general are on a much, much better route. But you're going to need to sort of elevate yourself above that, or you will. It's not that you need to, although that is what is needed to see a clearer picture. But somewhere in 2020, you will be given that opportunity. That's what will happen. You will get to see above all of it. You will get a clearer, bigger picture of what is going on there. I see a trail of little coins, which means that there is definitely an improvement in income in 2020. It's a long trail of them, so for long trail. I see ups and downs in that trail, so it might be a bit of a roller coaster ride where income is concerned, but there's definitely a big improvement because there's a lot of money. I see a face looking a little confused, right there by the rabbit and the cat, and that's probably you. There's a little dragon standing up behind that, which sometimes means a lot of that confusion can be because of our perception of something. Our perception can sometimes be flawed, but that's because of where we are seeing it from. When that changes, when we see it from a different perspective, then there will be an improvement. Then we'll be able to make better decisions and have a better view of the way forward. Remember, there is an angel in this teacup for you that will be guiding you along your way. I see a bird on a branch, perched on a branch. He's waiting for news. I see a fish jumping out of the water. Fishes are normally associated with abundance. So you are waiting for things to improve in that area of your life. You are waiting for more abundance. And then I see a little buffalo head. And the buffalo head always speaks about an increase in abundance. Some kind of material gain coming your way. So that's interesting. So that will be happening for you. So it's an interesting year. Ultimately, it's going to be about you gaining a new perspective. And when you gain that new perspective, it's going to make a big difference to your life. That is when things will start moving forward. At the moment, they're a bit unclear and muddled, and you possibly have a few perceptions. And these perceptions are possibly also not, they're fear-based, right? And that can be what's gearing you, what's driving you. Like I say, nothing wrong with the goal, nothing wrong with what you're after, but the fear is what's driving you. And once you gain this higher perspective, this better view of what's going on, then you will find the road ahead is smoother, easier, more abundant, and it will probably be quite successful as well. It's just about gaining that different perspective, and you will in 2020. I hope that you enjoyed that reading. If you would like any of those readings I offered at the beginning, the personal, private, soulmate, or subscription to weekly updates for your star sign, please contact me via the links in the description box below. That is via the website. I want to thank you for watching, listening, commenting, liking, subscribing, and for those of you that share this video, I truly appreciate it. Those of you that comment, I read every single comment. Thank you very much.